Um, I was going through videos on YouTube and I saw that a lot of people have posted their little video logs about their bouts with anxiety and their own stories and everything. And I thought, I'd give it a try. So, my name's John. I'm 19. I finished my first year of college this spring. I'm at a community college, I am not dorming or doing anything fantastic, but I'm pretty proud of myself that I was able to get through the year and not chicken out. Right now, I'm currently looking for a job, which is tough because I have no prior job experience. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just hoping to get a job that I can just, stay, like have as little interaction, at least pressurized interaction. Like a cash register job for me seems like it'd be difficult. I don't know why. I mean, you get to push buttons. It's working with a big calculator. It spits out money, but I don't know. Anyway, back to my wonderful tale of anxiety. Um, I can remember my first panic attack. It was in the third grade during our big hyped up finals, and that was not a pleasant experience. Since then, throughout elementary school, I'd have occasional panic attacks. Um, I would try to go on field trips, and I'd be confused how every day, whenever I'd have a field trip, I'd be horribly sick. I'd be nauseous. I'd have diarrhea. I'd feel like I was gonna throw up. But then, as soon as the possibility of the field trip passed, I made a miraculous recovery. So I mean, like usually kids fake sick out of going to school, not going on a field trip. So I mean that was weird, but whatever. I thought I didn't know what to think of it. Um, After a while, after my last field trip, end of the year field trip in sixth grade, I went with my mom as a chaperone, which was the only way I was able to go on the field trips I did go on. I had just completely stopped going on field trips. Um, I just, I realized that's just a repeat occurrence, and I gave up. Um, the transition from elementary school to middle school wasn't that difficult for me. I was able to get into the swing of things pretty quickly. Once I reached the high school level, though, that was when things got hard. I was kind of fortunate. My high school was right across the street from my house, so I could roll out of bed at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'd have time to do everything I needed to do and get to my first class at 7:45 without a problem. I mean, well, theoretically, that's how it should have been. But of course, I can remember the first day of school, just sitting on my front porch, seeing a few kids come early, then a few more, then a few more, then a few more, and then I feel like I blinked and the whole courtyard's just packed with kids, and uh, that wasn't a great day. But I ended up going. I can still remember my first day in ninth grade. I remember my second day in ninth grade. Um, I was really nervous. I didn't want to go. My father had to take my little brother up to his bus stop, and I was still like I was on the verge of tears. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And my dad basically yelled at me and said, "I'm gonna go take your little brother to the bus stop, and when I come back, you better not be here." And so he left, and as soon as he left, I dropped my book bag, I sat on the floor, I started crying, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to go to school now. I can't go looking like this. And then I was just worried. Well, when my dad comes home, he'll drag me out of the house. It'll be humiliating. I won't be able to show my face. And so I hid in a closet for the better part of the day. So that was my highlight from ninth grade. And then eventually my friends introduced me to cutting. And no, I don't mean self mutilation cutting. I mean cutting class, which was awesome. I loved that. uh, didn't do too good, didn't help me out academically, but anxiety wise, I was good. It was good to get away. Um, 10th grade was uh, better than ninth grade, but I didn't really face the problem yet of my attendance and everything. Then came 11th grade. That was the first year that I was able to make it to my first period class on the first day of school out of ninth and 10th grade. So I thought that was a good omen. 2 weeks into school, I have a bad breakdown, and I was out of classes for a few months. Eventually, I got back into the swing of things, though, going in class by class, and I had to drop a few classes, but I was able to get back in and do decent, so I was pretty happy. Um, I had to go to summer school that year, but I was able to do that, and I was proud of myself for that. Summer school was always a horrible thing, a big stigma, but I did it. Got the grade I needed, got out. Uh, the summer that I ended up going to summer school, my older brother, who he was like a safety person to me, like whenever he was around, I would be able to do things I normally wouldn't be able to do with friends, because I knew, like he was my brother. He would, if I pass out and I'm incapacitated, I can't take care of myself at all. He'd drag me out of there like it was some military movie. And yeah, the summer that I had summer school, he passed away in a car accident. And so 12th grade, when 12th grade started, I was just really numb. So I mean, panic just really, it put panic in a lighter. Well, I don't know. I mean, panic didn't seem as extreme anymore. And then after that, um, later on that same summer, even before 12th grade started, my mom told me that she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that just, I don't know, that wasn't cool. But she's all right now. She's recovered and everything. Um, but yeah, 12th grade, I made it through, graduated, got out of high school in 4 years, which I did not think was going to happen. I can still remember the wake up call from my guidance counselor. Graduation day, was a tiny bit nervous, but then I was like, no, I fucking spent 4 years doing all this. I'm not being nervous on my graduation day. I went to my graduation, I went to my prom, I had a blast at prom. I was nervous before prom, but I got through it and I had a ball. Um, then summer came around and I had to register for college and all that stuff. That was stuff that I wasn't really looking forward to, but I did. College classes, I ended up failing out of my math class because it just got too hard for me, and my not so great attendance, I just ended up giving up and not going, so I failed that. Other classes, I didn't do as good as I could have due to attendance. However, I still did. No, I passed. I did decent. Uh, Second semester, same thing. I took an acting class, which, if you ever have the opportunity to take an acting class and you have anxiety, it sounds like it's gonna be like, it's like, why would you do that? But trust me, it is so much fun. Um, and yeah, that was my last semester of college. And now this is summertime, and I'm looking for a job, which is, yeah, I have no job experience, and I'm trying to look for a certain kind of ideal, not a lot of responsibility, not a lot of interaction with strangers or anything like that. But yeah, so this is my anxiety disorder video.